In this daily drop, we're going to go over a bunch of different things that I've had on my mind, I'm thinking about, and that I have coming up. So let's go. Okay, here we are, and this is a little bit of a different type of episode. I wouldn't put this in the category of evergreen or content that can last forever, but there's been a bunch of things I've been thinking about and I've had on my mind, so I figure why not just smash them all together into one episode. Number one, the Black and White Film Challenge that's coming up on Wednesday, November 29th as part of the live stream. If you're part of that, don't forget to get all of your stuff in the weekend before. I actually have now shot my second roll of film, and I'm leaving after I'm done shooting and editing this episode to go drop these off for processing, scanning, and then I'll eventually get the negs back for those as well. Now, I'm not sure what's on those rolls. I have an idea, but that's kind of what's terrifying and also really exciting about shooting on film. There is a couple of photographs, or are a couple of photographs on one of the rolls, which were shot right outside my door. I got up to walk the dogs in the morning, and the fog, it was just amazing. I didn't have my film camera with me. So I took a couple of photographs with the phone that was in my pocket, my iPhone, and I think they're pretty lovely. And then what I did is I came back about 15 minutes later with the camera and took a couple of photographs. But I have to say, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get because things had changed considerably in that 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll see if there's something there. If for the Black and White Film Challenge is something that I like from those photographs, I'll definitely show them. And I might show them along with the smartphone photograph, which is, of course, in color because you've just seen it. What else? Well, I have been wanting to say something about the strikes. And whether you have been or are directly affected by that or were affected by the strikes, well, you still would be because everybody's just starting to figure out how they're getting back to work. I will say that, I am extremely happy that the strikes are over. I'm happy for a lot of people that I know who are both union-based, but also the industry as a whole. I'm connected to it very closely. We're all connected to it closely. And trust me, with the conversations I've been having with manufacturers of the equipment that we use, whether we are connected to those unions or not, they are relieved, they're excited, they're getting back into a lot of things that basically were on pause for a long time. So the strikes ending is just good for all of us all around. So what does that mean? It hopefully means that the industry is going to kickstart before the start of the new year. But trust me, things are going to get very, very, very busy for a lot of people in 2024. I hope that we don't get any other surprises. I'm kind of sick of the new normals being new normals, and I just like a really, really productive year. Election years scare me a little bit, and again, we don't get into politics on this channel, but historically, election years can throw wrenches into the system. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that's not the case for 2024, and we can just get busy creating. So that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. By the way, just got another FX30 in the house, so I'll be using this for some content creation, coupled with the Sigma lenses, these little compact contemporary DC-DN lenses. Loving that 18-50. I've talked about that in the past. This right here is the relatively new 10-18, and pretty interesting pairing with these two. Now I'm just waiting for a 70-200. What could they do with that sensor size to get a 70-200? Because that's kind of the holy grail of a set in zoom lenses. You get a 10-18, an 18-50. There's a jump there. I'd love it to be something that went all the way to 70, and then you go 70 to 200, but I would take a 70 to 200 or a 55 to something else. I don't know. I'm just talking here, but I am happy to have that camera back in for a period of time. I think for certain types of content like this, and right now I'm shooting on the A7C2, I think it's a great camera. Now, the A7C2 for me has been a really interesting camera while I've had it in-house. It's going to go home in a little while, in a very short while, but I have to say that it has not, in this environment, overheated on me once, which is great. The camera does get warm, I have to say, when it's in this teleprompter configuration, but nothing like that A6700, which just plopped out when I was using it in this kind of setup. And the advantage to the A7C2 is that you can use it as, because it is, a full frame or a crop sensor camera, which you cannot do with the FX30. I like the body style more of the FX30. I like the usability in terms of the buttons and everything else on this camera, the full-sized HDMI, but I would say that pound for pound, dollar for dollar, that the A7C2 really holds its own. At the moment, the FX30 is going for about $200 US less than it normally is. So this is under $1,600 US for the body. If you match this with something like that 18 to 50 Sigma lens, you've got something that's just over $2,000 US for an f2.8 that shoots 18 to 50, and that's a pretty killer combo for content creation. I don't know. I got all kinds of other things going on. I've got this little bar here, which I'm going to be using for some tests to mount lights. And if you could see beyond this table and what happens inside of, I call it the barn. It's sometimes a studio. It's really a workshop. It is the place where I get to take what's in here and put it into practice. And hopefully some of that translates to the channel. I don't know if you'd be surprised, but there's a lot of stuff going on here around me, and I'm testing a lot of things, and I'm always bringing things in here to try them out and figure out what makes sense in terms of things that relate to what would be valuable here on the channel and for things that you're doing. So there you go. That's my jambalaya. That's my bouillabaisse, my cioppino, my mixed stew of things that are going on here. I do want to say as a last piece of this that I will be in LA at the beginning of December around the Band Pro event. So if anybody's going to be there, I should be there on December 7th, 2023. And we have decided, because I'm going to be there, that Cameron Flask is actually going to move up to Wednesday, December 20th, our final episode for the year. So it won't be on the first Wednesday of the month. It will be Wednesday, December 20th. It will feel really like a holiday episode because of that. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.